following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Welcome to the Letterman Studio Radio Show, presenting our world with the stories that everyone wanted, but didn't realize until they were told. Let's get started. Here's your host, Jeremy Letterman.
Welcome back to the radio show, everybody. Thank you for tuning back in again. I am your host, Jeremy. And today, to tell you one whopper of a story, I have some special guests in the audience with me. I have the command crew from the Starship Enterprise. We got, look at it, we got Jean-Luc Picard.
Jeremy.
We have Counselor Troy.
Jeremy.
And...
May I enter?
Oh, we even have Worf.
Jeremy, I am Lieutenant Worf.
Now let me set the stage. I was listening to Pandora. I have an 80s channel set up. So then that old song, The Safety Dance, came on. I have been listening to that song since I was in middle school. But for some reason, I actually took the time to listen to the lyrics more than just the chorus. Something in me started to think, something is up with these lyrics. They're just weird. The kind of weird that when you listen to it, you're thinking, whoever wrote this was trying to say something else. Not just try to be weird with words. So you watch the video, and it's got the guy dressed in sort of Renaissance clothes. Looks like Middle Ages setting. There's a little dwarf in his lute, and there's this woman, this blonde woman, walking with them into town. Suddenly everybody starts bursting out of the doors, and they're dancing everywhere. So I started reading the lyrics a little bit, found them online, and sure enough, as I'm going through these lyrics, they're really standing out to me as being strange. I mean, really strange. So I started Googling around, and I think I found what the heck they were talking about. I might be wrong, but I believe these two things are connected. I propose that the song, The Safety Dance, is actually about...
the Dancing Plague of 1518.
Now let me just give you the quick nutshell of what the Dancing Plague is all about. In Strasbourg, France, a woman walks into town, and she starts dancing. She starts dancing like crazy. Dancing actually what seemed to be kind of crazy. Now as she began to dance, suddenly a few more people started to join her. And then within a week there were 34 people that were joining her dancing. Now, while these 34 people at the end of the week were dancing with her, this woman, Mrs. Trofea, she didn't stop dancing. She has been dancing for 4 to 6 days at this point. And then within a month, there's about 400 people, predominantly female, and they're all dancing like crazy. There's records in the Vatican, there's doctors' records, there's government records. It's really strange. But what basically ends up happening is after a month it stops, and they all just kind of quit dancing. But that's not before some of these people died of exhaustion, heart attacks, and even a stroke. So let's just talk a little bit about what was going on. The outbreak began around 1518, like I said, when Miss Trofea began dancing into town. Now, what was trying to be figured out was, why are these people dancing? I mean, think about it. These people are going nuts, and physicians and clergy, they don't know what the heck's going on. They're looking at their faces, and they're not dancing with glee. It says that their faces were just like they were terrified, like something in them wouldn't stop, and they were dying of exhaustion. They've even said that marathon runners couldn't have even kept up this intense kind of a workout. They say that people that were trying to dance like this could maybe do it for a couple of hours. These people were going on for days. So in typical Middle Ages fashion, the doctors were thinking,
Doctor, there must be a cure, some formula. Similar to the old one.
Damn it, Captain.
You know what they really need? They need to dance even more. So what do? Do they try to stop them? No. These brainwaves decide that what's best for these people that are dancing is to build them stages. Bring in midgets with juggling sticks. Bring in other musicians and bands. When people were falling over, other people in the town would pick them up and help them keep dancing. Eventually, like I said, a lot of them died. So they're trying to figure out, Why is all this dancing happening? They believed that the dancers would recover only if they danced continuously day and night, and they thought this would increase the effectiveness of the cure. They don't know what the cure was, but as far as they were concerned, it was time to keep dancing. Now, if you look on the internet, you'll find a number of books about the subject. There's an interesting one I found by a historian named John Walker. The book came out around 2008, and it's called A Time to Dance, A Time to Die, The Extraordinary Story of the Dancing Plague of 1518. So they were trying to figure out, why are these people dancing? He basically explained that the historical records documented the dancing deaths, such as physicians' notes, cathedral sermons. I mean, like I said, this was going on for a month, so on Sunday they were talking about the dancing people all over town. Local regional chronicles, people that were writing papers and newsletters, they even had notes issued by the Strasbourg City Council during the height of this whole boogie rage. It's all unambiguous of the fact that they were actually dancing, not just squirming and having seizures. It says in his book that the people were not just trembling, shaking, or convulsing. Although they seemed to be entranced, their arms and their legs were moving as if they were purposefully dancing. The thing is, they don't know exactly why this all happened. But they have some clues as to where it may have come from. And this is really sad because this whole area had just suffered a severe famine. These people had just barely survived a famine. And now, in many cases, they're being wiped out and reduced to begging. And now this region is in this ongoing crisis, and these people are near starvation, and suddenly, they're struck with dancing. They're dancing their minds out. They're dancing to death. They believe the stress they were under must have just been intolerable. They had all kinds of diseases like smallpox and syphilis, and they think that mass hysteria, a mass psychological illness, must have resulted from all of this stress. I'm losing it. I feel like I should go over here and try dancing.
Jeremy, come here.
But I
don't think Jeremy's ready to accept Worf right now.
Okay, let me pull it together here. Other books and other historians have also come up with something that seems to be a little more plausible than just people going nuts because they're stressed. I don't remember a lot of World War I or Civil War veterans suddenly dancing in the trenches, so maybe it wasn't stress. Like I said, they just got over a famine. Now, one of the favorite staple crops of the starving is wheat. And during this time of year, they believe a more plausible explanation for the crazy dancing was there was a fungus all over the wheat. It's called ergot fungus. It's basically an organic version of LSD. It's also extremely poisonous. Now the problem is it's more likely to kill people than to get them to start dancing and having a party. But I guess if you're starving and you have very, very low protein in your body, maybe it's your body's time to boogie. I don't know. But the whole thing is, these people were expending just massive kilojoules of energy. I mean, perfectly healthy people can't even dance for more than 3 hours, let alone for days. But like I said earlier, eventually the dance just wore off. They got off the stage, the midgets put down their bowling pins, the musicians went home, and the clergy scratched their head wondering, was it the devil, or were they just nuts? It doesn't say a lot about what happened to the people afterwards, but I'm sure that next time they had a dance or a harvest festival, they said, maybe next time. Now, on a closing note, one thing just to add a little more bizarre to this whole story, because it needed just a dash of more bizarre. It is written throughout history that around this same time, there were at least 7 other cases of this crazy dancing problem in the region. One of them even happened in Madagascar, all the way in 1840. What do? I don't know. Next time you eat some funky wheat, maybe you're going to get down on your funky feet. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this brief and strange little story. You guys can beam back up to the Enterprise. Appreciate your help. You didn't say much, but that's probably because I couldn't find enough recordings of you using my name. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the show. Feel free to subscribe, to send comments, or to just send me an email and say, of all the people that are sick in this conversation, we think we know who's the sickest. Listen again. There's more episodes coming.
Return again for more stories from the Letterman Studio Radio Show.